GERD, Ethiopia, and Egypt. Where is the truth, Egypt or Ethiopia? The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, is more than a dam. It symbolizes Ethiopia's right to rise from poverty, light up its villages, and claim dignity after centuries of underdevelopment. Yet, Egypt presents GERD as an existential threat. The truth, however, lies not in fear, but in fairness. Ethiopia's stand is just, while Egypt's objections rest on outdated privilege and refusal to share. Ethiopia's reality, a nation in darkness. 2011, when GERD's construction began, 64% of Ethiopians lived without electricity. Millions still cooked with firewood, children studied under kerosene lamps, and industries remained stunted. Yet Ethiopia is the source of 85% of Nile waters and holds enormous energy potential. Despite this, the Abyei, Blue Nile Basin, home to two-thirds of Ethiopia's irrigation potential, carried away over 1 billion tons of fertile soil each year to Sudan and Egypt, while Ethiopians living by the river went hungry. Ethiopia used only 1.5% of its waters. GERD is not a luxury project. It is a matter of survival. Egypt's claims versus Ethiopia's truth. Claim 1, GERD will cause water shortages in Egypt. False. Studies, including those by the International Panel of Experts, show GERD can be filled gradually without harm. Egypt loses more water to evaporation from Lake Nasser than Ethiopia will ever use from GERD. Sudan, in fact, benefits from regulated flows and reduced floods. Claim 2, Egypt has historic rights over the Nile. Outdated. These rights are based on colonial-era treaties, 1929, 1959. Ethiopia never signed, the source of 85% of Nile waters. No law grants eternal monopoly over a shared river. Claim 3, Ethiopia should wait for agreement before filling GERD. Hypocrisy. Egypt built the Aswan High Dam without consulting Ethiopia. It diverts Nile waters to desert agriculture projects, including the Toshka and Sinai schemes, without regional consensus. Demanding Ethiopia's permission is hypocrisy. GERD is already delivering electricity, proving that waiting means delaying Ethiopia's survival and condemning millions to darkness. Claim 4, GERD is a political weapon. Wrong, GERD generates electricity, not irrigation. Ethiopia has no interest in diverting the river. Water flows downstream after turning turbines. GERD, a project of hope. GERD will produce 5,150 megawatts of power, the largest in Africa, and bring Ethiopia $1 billion a year in exports. It will cut floods in Sudan, create jobs, protect soil, and even open tourism and fisheries. Most importantly, it was financed by Ethiopians themselves, proof of sovereignty and resilience. This is why Ethiopians call it our dam. It unites political rivals, inspires the diaspora, and stands as a symbol of independence in the face of pressure. GERD is not a threat. It is a lifeline. Egypt, on the other hand, views GERD through the lens of hegemony and geopolitical control over the Nile. Its resistance stems less from hydrological concerns and more from fear of losing decades of dominance. Where the truth lies. Egypt already enjoys 100% electricity access and operates one of the largest man-made reservoirs, Lake Nasser, and also holds vast underground water reserves, estimated at 5,367 cubic kilometers in the Nubian sandstone aquifer, largely untapped. Ethiopia, by contrast, remains energy poor despite being water-rich. GERD is Ethiopia's path to end this injustice. The real question is not whether GERD threatens Egypt, but whether the Nile will remain a river of monopoly or become a river of cooperation. The truth leans toward Ethiopia's side, a nation with everything to gain from development and nothing to gain from the destruction of its neighbor. Ethiopia is not asking for charity, it is demanding fairness. Ethiopia's truth is rooted in necessity, the need to lift millions from poverty, secure energy, and exercise sovereignty over its natural resources. Egypt's truth is rooted in fear. Fear of change, fear of sharing, and fear of losing historical dominance. The truth is Ethiopia's. GERD is not aggression, but survival. Not hegemony, but justice. Not Egypt's loss, but Africa's shared gain. Ethiopia will defend its right to use its own waters, not to deprive others, but to finally give light, food, and hope to its people.